Monica, hello. This is Rose Griscom, the director of the Institute of Thai Massage USA, ITM USA, and I'm here just for a quick little infomercial, I guess is what it would be called. I want to talk to you about a class that's coming up in November of 2020, Sen Therapy class. If you don't want to listen to this, but you want to find out about the class, this is the website, thai-massage.org. If you go to /calendar, look for level 3 Sen therapies, or you can go under the class listing or the advanced listing, find that level 3 Sen therapy class, November 14th through 20th. And the reason I want to talk about it is because I was watching a different webinar actually and realized that the way I teach the advanced Thai massage Sen classes is quite different from anybody else that I'm aware of and how they teach it. So I thought it would be helpful to explain that to you a little bit so that you can see if that's a good fit for you, if that's a course you would like to take and that would benefit you. So if you've had a class with me in the past, you already know what my teaching style is, the mood I try to set in the classroom, the space I try to create. So if you're not familiar with me, I'll just sort of give you a little gist of what that is. Number one, I think we should have fun, be relaxed, be serious about what we're learning, be respectful of ourselves and each other in the space, and use a lot of different tools to make learning easy. I've been teaching 25, 27 years now. And back in the day, I was really one of the few teachers in the US that taught these advanced Sen therapy courses, partly because I had had training as a bodywork teacher. I was very interested in multidiscipline learning and teaching and multiple intelligences and finding ways to make the classroom setting to be the best advantage for everybody that was there, for a diverse group of people, diversity in how they learn, in what their experience was, what their, personal, human, ethnographic, sexual, racial, economic diversity was, to be as much of an inclusive space as I felt I could create so we can learn from each other, because a lot of learning happens amongst the participants. Cooperative learning. And we often learn so much more, not just the material that's being presented, but what each person's experience and wisdom and humanity can bring to it. So those things were really important to me, and they're still really important to me. And when I learned Thai massage, and I love my teacher and I love the teachings, but it was not easy to learn. When I went to Thailand back in 1994, studied with the Institute of Thai Massage, ITM USA in Chiang Mai, this was the book we got for the advanced therapies. And basically we got a diagram like this, and we would write our own notes. We would watch the teacher, Chankal or one of his assistants, and we would jot notes down about what they were doing. And that was beneficial in some ways because you really had to pay attention, be an engaged, active learner, to watch, listen, and you could write things down in your own words, which can be really helpful because then you own it a little bit more. It makes sense to you, the words and terminology that you use. And it took a lot of repetition and a lot of studying, a lot of reviewing. I think I took the advanced classes 3 times in their entirety before I felt like I got it. And then, of course, as with any Thai massage or anything where you want to get deeper into the levels of learning, not just the superficial mechanics, but what am I doing? Why am I doing that? How is that affecting the receiver? How is that different from what I might do instead? How do things compare? Those levels of learning. Repetition is just really important for that. And dialogue and interaction and mentorship is important for that. So I wanted to just find ways to make the teaching more accessible for people. And so now when you take a class with me, you'll get a lot of that material, but you'll get what I call a cheat sheet in written form for those of us who like words. This summarizes all the movements and what the sequence of a particular routine might be. You'll also get a cheat sheet in a visual form, which has the pictures, if you're more of a picture learner, and little summary of what that is. You'll also do things like get a poster of a skeleton and a muscle chart and just a naked body. And you draw where these Sen pathways are in different colors so they pop out a little bit more. You'll draw on charts. You'll draw on a big poster board. You'll draw on clothing on each other. We'll take the lines, go through them one by one. We'll say the names over and over because it's a different language, can be hard to pronounce. I have little riddles and word games to remember the names. We'll draw them on these. We'll trace them with our fingers on our own body. We'll read the location descriptions out loud, different people, to kind of get that in your brain in a different way. We'll look at different, let me back up. So I try the best to create a space where it's easy to learn the locations, the indications, and the therapy that goes with each of the different Sen treatments. And I've really found it works. People come out of that class much further ahead in the game than I was when I first learned it, because I'm giving you lots of ways to learn in a comfortable, casual, but focused setting. And I love doing that. I love seeing people pick it up quicker. And also, as I've gone through my Thai massage practice for all these years, I've been open to other styles of Thai massage and other lineages and other teachings, particularly about my sources. I like things that are authentic, that are well researched, that isn't just someone who's taken the work and made it into their own sort of thing that they then copyrighted and laid claim to. That doesn't resonate with who I am and how I teach. I prefer things that are a little more transparent and that I can trace the lineage of them. So I've come to realize that there's lots of different influences on Thai massage. And I like to help other people understand that at the beginning level instead of 30 years down the road. So we'll talk in the class about what are the Sen? What do different styles and lineages of traditional Thai massage, how do they perceive them? What are the different locations that they're seeing? What are they meant to be and meant to be doing? As some of you already are well aware of, there are different influences on traditional Thai medicine, from Thai indigenous practices, shamanic and spiritual practices, Thai Ayurveda, yoga, Thai yoga, Rusidatan, Buddhist medicine, Western medicine has had an influence also. So we talk about that and we look at that and we compare things, and we'll look at how the lines are shown in ITM Chiang Mai style, how they're shown in other styles, how they're depicted in other styles, how they relate to, you know, there's lots of different resources is the idea. I use different books and resources that are vetted and that are excellent resources within the field to share that knowledge with you. We might also take those lines, those pathways, and talk about them. How does that relate to Chinese medicine? What's the difference with Chinese medicine? What's the difference with yoga? The yoga nandis, how are the Sen different from that? How's the relationship with Western medicine, something like the anatomy trains, the fascia? because I think it helps immensely to have a broad understanding of this basket, this jewel, this temple of Thai traditional medicine, so that you find what resonates with you. And this isn't things that I've made up or brought to it. It's legitimate lineages and styles and resources that I'm presenting, and we find the common ground, and we work from that to learn these therapies, to learn the Sen, to understand what they are in ways that make sense to each of us. And it's a very interactive teaching, lots of hands-on, lots of doing, practicing the therapies. And the other kind of thing I've done to make it more accessible for people is traditionally it's taught in a week. So the course is offered for a week in November. Excuse me if you hear the kids in the back there. It's a week in November. You can come and take that whole week if you're the kind of person who wants to see the big picture, who wants to understand the therapies and learn a number of them in one time period, so you can take that home and digest it. You want to see that bigger picture. It's an awesome intensive week. There's a residential option. You can come stay. It's really a fantastic intensive class. Or maybe you like to learn in smaller chunks. You digest better in smaller chunks. Come for the first 2 days. And you'll get the overview of the Sen. You'll get the what they are, what different lineages think they are, where they are, the 10 SIP Sen, the primary Sen, their locations, their indications. And you'll learn one small therapy that focuses on the hara, the belly, Sen Sumana. You get the overview and one therapy. That's the first 2 days. Maybe you want a little bit more. You want to come for 3 days. So you take the overview, the first therapy, and then you learn one additional therapy, a little bit more in-depth or intense therapy, a little bit more to it. That might be coming for example, Sen Kalathari. And today we do that therapy. Or maybe you've taken this class with me in the past and you just want to review. You can't quite get Itha Pingala. What's that therapy? What's the routine? What am I really doing with these movements? So you just want to come for that one day. If you've already had the overview, you've already had parts of the class before. So that's my goal, make it accessible in many different ways and share this incredible work because I love it. I use these therapies all the time in my practice. Clients respond very well, both on a relaxation level and on a therapeutic level to treat certain issues and problems and discomforts. I think they're incredibly valuable and I want to share that with you. So if you're interested, you're curious, go to the website, read more about the course, send me an email if you have any questions, share it with any other therapists you know who might be interested. It's in November. Hopefully it'll be an in-person class. That's the goal. I am, like many of us, I'm developing digital online options in case that's where we are at that point in time. So even if we can't meet in person, there might be ways that we can do this as a live webinar. And so we'll talk about that, look into it, and I look forward to hearing from you if you're curious about this work. Thanks so much.